Hello and welcome to the part 1 of Xcode Cloud for beginners. In this lesson, you will learn what is CICD and how to set out Xcode Cloud to automate your build, test, and distribute. Throughout the Xcode Cloud video, you will learn the essential skills for you as a solo developer or skills to set out for your team. Before we start, I just want to let you know that Xcode Cloud is free until the end of this year, 2023. It is the best time for you to learn now. So, before we start, do remember to like, share, and subscribe. In this video, you will learn what is CICD, how can you make use of Xcode Cloud, and lastly, set out Xcode Cloud. In this course, we assume that you already have the understanding of Git and at least one remote repo. So, if you don't, do check out other videos that teach you about Git or some remote repo on GitHub or GitLab. But in this video, we will be using GitHub. Also, you need an Apple developer account too. The first questions that some of you might have is, what is CICD? CICD stands for Continuous Integrations and Continuous Delivery or Continuous Deployment. It is a set of practices that automate the building, testing, and deployment of software, in this case, your iOS app. CICD helps to ensure that code changes are reliable and can be deployed to production quickly and safely. Before you understand CI and CD clearly, take a look at the normal workflow without CI/CD that you might be doing right now in your app development process. As an iOS developer, you are working on an app project and did some code changes. Before you commit any changes, you manually build and test the code on your local machine. This step is time-consuming and error-prone process, as you might sometimes forget to test your code. Once you're done checking, you will commit and push to your remote repo such as GitHub. If you are working as a team, there might be a code review and you will inform your senior developer that you have tested everything and is working correctly. If he don't trust you, he might pull the code and build and test manually. Once everything is correct, the code is merged to the master branch, and the developer then can manually deploy the code to production. We can see that some of these steps is time-consuming and error-prone, and we can automate it, which will save you some time. With CI and CD, we can automate the process. Developer can commit and push their code. Once there is any code changes, we can build and run, test the app, and send the test result in GitHub, which reviewer can look at it without pulling and cloning the app and retest it. So, what is Xcode Cloud? Xcode Cloud is a CI and CD service that helps you to automate the building, testing, and deployment of your app within the Apple ecosystem. It is a cloud-based service that integrates with Xcode Cloud and App Store Connect. With Xcode Cloud, you can build your app, run tests, deploy your app. If you look at it, Xcode Cloud consists of the start action, which it can detect any branch changes, pull requests, tag changes, or schedule for a branch. Once these actions are detected, it can run the actions that you state. And we'll be learning all this throughout this course. Today, we will look at a CI/CD workflow for solo developer. We look at how we can trigger unit tests when there is a code changes in the main branch or any branch including your features branch. Once it is commit and pushed to the remote repo, it will trigger unit tests. This allows you to always test your code to ensure that the quality of every changes is correct. Let's set out Xcode Cloud. Before you start, you can download the starting project provided at the link below. In this project, it is an app that will read out text about Singapore, and it contains a unit test that does nothing, as we just need it to pass to learn about Xcode Cloud. Do remember to set out the Git and your remote repo for this project. To set out Xcode Cloud, you can click on Report Navigator, click on Cloud. You can set up by clicking Get Started. Remember to change your bundle ID to a unique one before starting. Select the app that you want to have this CICD pipeline. For this example, Voice Guide. By default, it creates a workflow. Let's edit the workflow and see what we can modify in each CICD workflow. The first part is General, which provides detailed information about the workflow, which help you to understand what this pipeline do in the future. Give a name, Test Workflow. For description, I will leave it empty for now, but it's up to you what information you want to put. You can restrict editing so only admins and manager can edit it. Since we are a solo developer, it doesn't make a difference. Let's uncheck it. You can change the environment, the Xcode version, macOS version, and some environment variables. We will take a look later on in the future. You need to state when you want the workflow to start. For now, we want to start when there is a change in the branch. So the source can be any branch, and start if any file changes. Let's just archive it for the task we want to do. Post action, we will leave it empty as we will look at it in the future. Since this is our first time setting this out, we need to grant Xcode access to the source code. Click on Grant Access and it will open out App Store Connect web page, and it will open out GitHub. Install Xcode Cloud to your repo. I prefer to install to one repo, which is this, and not all. And then we will find the repo we want. Since we don't have an app on Apple Connect yet, we need to create one. The name is being used. Let's create it manually on Apple Connect. Click on Add Buttons. Fill out the informations. I won't be covering this as you should already know it. Once it's done, click on Previous and Next again. We have completed our setup. As you see, we can't set out any build yet as we don't have any branch on our remote repo. Let's push our changes to the remote repo and it will start the workflow automatically. Now we have done setting up. We want to trigger tests when any branch changes. So when there is a code change, it will trigger the unit test workflow and run the test so that we can view the result. We are planning to trigger tests if there is a change on our main branch or even the featured branch. Let's head back to Xcode and set it up. Let's delete the old workflow. However, there is an issue. We can't delete the last workflow, but it's okay. We will create the new workflow to trigger the unit test. After creating this, you can delete the old workflow if you want to. There is two ways to create the new workflow. The first one, click on Manage Workflow and click on the Add button. Another way is to go to the button on the bottom left and click on Create Workflow, then select the app and click Next. Same thing, give a name. We shall name it Run Unit Test and give some description. Update the start condition which is branch changes, source is any. You can decide when you should run if any file changes or a specific condition, but we will start a build if any file changes. Create a new action. For now, we will create test as we want to run unit tests. If you are using it, I would recommend you to do build and analyze as it will provide more information and ensure that your app is in good condition. Let's start building a new work and test it out. Click on the test drop down, go to test and you can view the result. Now we want to create a new features. We can create a new branch and test if the unit test run when the code changes. Edit the test and make it fail by adding Xcd fail. Try running the test. See if it failed. But can we see it in Xcode Cloud to find out? Let's commit and push the code. And the branch workflow should start running. Now Xcode Cloud result is red and it means the test failed. View the test by going to test and click on fail. As you see, Xcode Cloud helps you to run unit tests when a code changes every time. This ensures that you test your app every time before deploying it. But now we want to trigger deployment. As a solo developer, this is a very handy feature as it helps you to build and archive your project so that you don't need to go through the manual steps. Before this, we always trigger the test when every code changes in the branch, which is also happening on the features branch. But now, we only want to trigger the distribution when the main branch changes. Let's go back to the workflow and create a new workflow and select the product. Fill out the general information. For now, for the source branch, we want it to be custom branch, which is min. This allows us to trigger the workflow when the min branch changes and everything remains the same. We will run the test again. Then for distribution, we will click on archive. You can choose how you want to prepare the distribution. Later on in this course, we will take a look more in depth. Select test file and app store. However, there is an issue. We need to ensure that the environment is clean every time we run this workflow. Select Clean and save the workflow. Let's remove error and commit and push to the feature branch. As you see, the run unit test workflow has started running now. If you look at the distribution app, it didn't run. Why? Because we didn't change the code on the main branch. You can view everything in Apple Connect. Let's create a PR and merge the changes to the main branch and see what happens when it merges. We can see the previous result that the test had failed over here as a cross, and now yellow dot means pending or running. Create a pull request. As you see, the run test is still running. You can see it over here. Let's wait for a while and see what happened when it finishes. It turns green. With this CICD pipeline, it might help us catch error before deploying it. Click Merge. Once merged, let's head back to Xcode Cloud and see whether has the distribute app workflow run when the main branch changes. Yes, it indeed run, but if you see carefully, run unit test also run. Maybe we should remove test over here for the distribute app so that we won't run unit test twice. Once it's done deploy, we can go to Apple Connect and see. You can fill out the missing compliance. Also, you can add the build and get ready for app review. As you see, Xcode Cloud help you to run tests when it needed. This helps you ensure that your code is always running when it changes. Moreover, Xcode Cloud help you distribute your app and speed up your deployment process.